Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the March 19th, 2026 regular council meeting beginning at 7:30 p.m. Tonight, we'll be led in prayer by Deacon Larry Gronis, and would you please remain standing for the pledge?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Let's bow our head and pray for God's blessings. Heavenly Father, as we come to the conclusion of our Lenten pilgrimage, prepare for Holy Week in a couple of weeks. We gather in your name to prepare for your Son's sorrowful way to the cross, which leads to his resurrection. For only through him can we do anything. Today, as always, we come to you asking for your guidance and wisdom in serving your community. Help this council to grow in serving your people. You have trusted them, and to nurture their bonds with this community. Teach all government leaders to sacrifice themselves, to serve their people as your Son sacrificed to serve your people. And teach the people that they serve to accept their decisions that they make, for they only do so for the betterment of their community. Enable us to pray thee, to proclaim the truth and power of your Son to those around us, that we who have received his gift of love express this gift to all the community. Father, we beg you for you to bless those innocent ones in war-torn countries, that you keep them safe from all harm. We ask this through your Son, Jesus Christ, who lives and reigns with you in the unity of the Holy Spirit, one God forever and ever. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please. Here. Here.
Here.
Here. Here.
Here.
All right, we have presentations. Number one is the discussion of the Trenton Veterans Memorial. Do we have someone who would like to start the discussion?
Sure. I brought this up at the Parks Board because I know that there has been a lot of mention about whether we're going to leave it at the park or take it out to where the new city building is. And I haven't heard anything since as far as what decision has been made, what needs to be done for a decision to be made. That's where I am.
Okay. I think I will, I'll just go ahead and start, and then we'll go from there, and you guys can back off of that. My personal feeling is this. Number one, putting the Veterans Memorial at the city building, number one, will save some funds because there will be some grading that has to be done if we put it at the park. Number two, it will put it on level ground, which will help a lot of the veterans get there and us not to have to put in more infrastructure so that they have to go up and down hills and or steps. Number three, there are some pictures that Stas put forward, and I honestly love the look of as you come down Edgewood Drive. The first thing you see is the Veterans Memorial with the City of Trenton building in the background. I think that really exemplifies and speaks to what this city is about and what we hold important. And then lastly, I'll just say from a security standpoint, I think everyone's aware that at the park from time to time we have had some security problems with some vandalism. And while this doesn't completely alleviate the risk of it, it lessens the risk of vandalism happening, and I can't think of anything worse than having a Veterans Memorial that's vandalized and then having to figure out a way to pay for that vandalism after it's done. So with that,
I would like to add that we changed the name of the road going up to City Hall from Edgewood Drive to Veterans Drive as well, to let everybody know that's where the Veterans Memorial is going to be.
And you know, I think back when I first started on council and there was another council member, Cody Agee, and this was kind of like one of the things that he and I both talked about. And I am a firm believer that we would not be in America free today if it weren't for the veterans. That's how I feel.
I did an informal poll with the Veterans Subcommittee and mixed feelings, but the majority that responded to me wanted it to be here. The only issue that I have, or concern that I have with the layout specific, is those benches were meant to be outside the circle because they're like for advertisement. And the thought is once you get inside that circle, that's the sacred space. But that's the only thing that I would add. I love the landscaping around it to keep people from entering it at any
Well, I
angle.
think, I think sometimes people like to go there, and that is a place of grief and mourning for them.
Right,
Yeah, and that.
but to have advertisements on those wouldn't
No.
be appropriate in
No.
that space. I'm okay, I mean, of course, I'm just one person, but having benches there for people to sit, okay,
Yeah,
but not
yeah.
with advertising on them,
Yeah,
which was the initial thought.
Has it been said there'll be advertising?
That was the initial thought, to let people who wanted to donate certain amounts, like to buy the benches, to have their business
just names
advertised
on
on
there?
there. Or it could be their business.
Oh, yeah.
And if that was the case, we
That would
wouldn't
be
want it in
appropriate.
that sacred space.
So,
There was also talk of
Stosh, switch back
putting
to
a
the
stone
first-
at the
first slide,
entrance,
please.
Yeah.
for the larger
For the larger sponsors, yeah.
Chief Carter, you got something you'd like to say?
I was, let me walk up to
Having them that close together.
that previous,
Yeah, maybe they,
That previous elevation, that previous diagram, that looks great right there. I just wanted to point out to council and everyone in the room, the previous, Stas, can you pull the previous one up? Yes. If I'm not mistaken, there's gonna be a loop driveway right here. So where that
Yeah.
memorial is currently placed in that visualization, I don't know that that's accurate because there's going to be a looping driveway right by the police station with handicap parking.
Okay.
So I just wanted to point that out, that I just don't think that one's accurate.
With the, oh, thank you, Chief.
thank you.
With the previous slide that we had up there, I think a good thing to do, and to Marcy's point, is we could put the landscaping around the side and some benches with advertising around that. But then we should probably look at 2 benches inside the memorial that are completely unmarked. Because I think if it is going to be for a place of reverence, that
Yes.
it should be
Yeah.
outside of any advertising possible. But at the same time, we only have 4 benches up there. If we put them outside what would be the landscaping as well, so that you could observe it from there, we could possibly have more benches.
Correct.
depending on the sponsors.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
I-
the cost is $20,000 a bench, is
Yeah.
that correct?
20 or 25.
So one thing
Somewhere around
Wow, that's high.
I just wanted to mention is, this was a pretty quick mock-up, and the intent was just to kind of give you
An idea.
of
Yeah.
where it would look like, not the final concept that was discussed and approved by council a while back. The intent would be following back up with Dodds and having that conversation and see if we can get a more redefined concept. Applying that concept to a new location, and then also incorporating the new city building design with, and making sure that what is brought forth to you, again, at a later date, is something that's more redefined.
Yeah.
But being able to provide you with an idea of what that would look like in either location to kind of help steer staff with conversations to be able to bring that back forward with you. One thing I will say is, it sounds like there's a consensus amongst council, I apologize, that to move it to the new city building location. Is that what I'm hearing?
Is he correct with that?
Yes, for me it is.
We voted on putting it down in Community Park, wouldn't we need to vote on moving it up to City Hall?
I don't believe you do. I think the motion or any vote was regarding the layout of the benches and where the pedestals were and all of that. But as far as the location specifically at Community Park, we can
They did vote on
They-
it prior to the entire.
Oh.
Yes,
It was like way-
and isn't there a sign there at the community park?
Yeah.
Yeah, we would have.
And just for the people that may not know the process we've gone through on this, the decision to put it at Community Park was made
Before this?
before the decision to build a new city building.
Yes,
That's
it
where a
was.
little bit of confusion has come in. At the time when the committee felt that Community Park was the best location available, which now seems has changed. My opinion, I like the center like that rather than over by the police department.
Me too.
I think it looks nicer, especially, with the flags in front of the city building and all. Plus, there was also talk in the past of at some point also doing a police and firefighters memorial. Well, if we put this in the center, then at a later date, maybe we can put that firefighter and police memorial at a little smaller scale over in the corner by the police department.
I also believe moving it up there, we can expand on the Hometown Hero banner program. Since we're limited by the number of Duke poles in the city, we would have total control on the banners that we place at the city building.
All right, so we do need to draw up something to vote on this, if I am correct, Mr. Ziffel? We can figure that out. If we need to vote on it, then we'll draw up something to vote on it at a later time. But does anyone else have any?
Do we know how close we are to hitting our goal to where we can actually get plans drawn and such?
We're at 200,000. I don't know what your goal is, but
The recommendation from Dodd was to at least get half, I think. I cannot recall. I'll have to follow back up on that.
Okay, if you could follow up on that, and let us know maybe at the next meeting, just where we stand, because that's more my concern really than placement is when we're gonna get this done.
Yeah.
All right, any further comments to this? All right, we'll move on to approval of minutes. Number 1 are the minutes of the March 5th, 2026 regular council meeting. Number 2 are the minutes of the March 5th, 2026 council work session. Number 3 are the minutes of the March 12th, 2026 special council meeting. Does anyone have any adjustments to the minutes as was presented to us? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Nichols and Vice Mayor Croucher. Roll call, please.
Mr. Nichols?
Yay.
Vice Mayor Croucher?
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery?
Yay.
Mr. Prophet?
Yay.
Ms. Butts?
Abstain from the first two and yay on the third.
Mr. Rourke?
Yay.
Mayor Perry?
Yay. On to the consent agenda. So a consent agenda is for non-controversial language in nature. These are day-to-day operations, and we have the ability to pass them with one vote. So knowing that, would any council member like to take out any part of the consent agenda for further discussion? All right, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Vice Mayor Croucher and Councilwoman Butts, roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Croucher?
Yay.
Ms. Butts?
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery?
Yay.
Mr. Prophet?
Yay.
Mr. Nichols?
Yay.
Mr. Rourke?
Yay.
Mayor Perry?
Yay. All right, we have correspondence. Number 1 is a February financial snapshot. Mr. Masiskis.
So I'm going to delve a little bit deeper on this one than I have on the previous. We have a couple new members of council, so I want to go over what this report is intended to convey, and Scott has it pulled up. So these are all of the city funds. We operate on a fund accounting basis. Funds that go into each of these funds have been raised for a specific purpose that can only be used for the ordinance-defined purpose of that fund. The general fund can cover really any government operation. Other ones have more stringent guidelines. The highlighted rows are the major operating funds. The non-highlighted rows are just everything else. So some of those non-highlighted rows have quite large balances. I may highlight them in the future, but they are not operating funds. So they don't receive normal day-to-day revenues, and they don't have normal day-to-day expenses. Those are for big projects, so they're not considered major operating funds. So we can start with the general. Our original budget for 2026 is $6,951,127. Our year-to-date spent of the 2026 budget is $1,172,000, or $1,172,375. That's 17% of the year, or of the total budget. The original revenue estimate for the general fund is $6,866,500. We have received $976,026. That is 14%. So the reason our spend is above our receipt is property taxes only come in twice a year. This is 2 months out of the year of spending, which reflects the 17%. But those large tranches that happen in usually April and September come in and will backfill that to the revenues catch up. We are still within our cash balance policy of that fund, so we have $2.9 million in cash remaining of our cash balance policy of $2.5 million. I have a note here that RETA taxes are 1 month behind what we used to collect. So RETA does their deposits to the city of 1 month in arrears, and then additional reconciliation deposit 2 weeks after that. So I'll go into what that means for our cash flows later, but they are performing, to be honest, slightly better than expected in terms of efficiency, but with keeping in mind that they are 1 month behind what they used to be. The water revenue fund is right at 15% spend and 15% received, so that is what we would expect for a utility fund. They are above our cash balance policy. Moving down to the next major operating, the sewer revenue, they are at only 12% spend, 16% received. Cash remaining is also above our cash policy. The refuse revenue is matching revenues or expenses. Street maintenance and repair, this is considered an operating fund, but our annual paving project usually happens later in the year. So we are at, let's see here, I will have to check into what percentage of that. I think that is the spend of 41% incorporates some of the outstanding expenses from last year, because we got some of those invoices in earlier in the past couple of months. But all of the rest of our funds are within the cash balance policies, and don't have too much else. I will go back down to our tax increment equivalent fund. So skipping down to fund 253. Original budget was $2,081,249. We've spent $396,207 so far. That is 19%. The original revenue estimate is $1.3 million. Those are funded during the time of the property tax bills. That is pilot revenues from certain neighborhoods as well as industrial areas in town. We have received $141,022. That's a portion of our advance, and the cash remaining is $3.8 million. So this fund is set aside for some major infrastructure projects. Meaning those road repavings that we talked about. This is the local match for some of those grants, and it can also be used for some of those water treatment plant studies to determine, the standard operating procedures as well as potential for water softening. So that is a fund that we can use for major improvements or forward-looking items that is not, staff costs and day-to-day operations. We'll flip over to the back. So I've also broken down the major revenue categories. Some of these are general fund, other of these are street or water funds. But starting with the general fund, we have income tax. The 2025 year-to-date amount for income tax collection, non-delinquent, was $655,000. Our 2026 year-to-date is $398,000. And I'll show you what an apples to apples is in a second. Our Attorney General delinquent collections year-to-date, $245,000 in 2025. In 2026, we're up $250,000. So we only budgeted $1.2 million this year. We received about $1.8 million last year. But with the RETA transition, we figured it would be better to budget conservatively. And additionally, last year, we did see a decline from previous years based on folks, getting in and filing. And so they're going to collections less often. However, the IRS has essentially declared that this year is going to be the largest income tax refund year that they've ever had. They expect 30% greater income tax refunds this year than in previous years due to some changes with federal taxation, limiting taxes on overtime, as well as changing tax brackets midway through last year, but generally most people were fully withheld on last year. They changed tax brackets halfway through the year, giving a lot of folks higher refunds. The Attorney General then, for accounts that are delinquent with us, pulls those higher refunds, so we're seeing a little bit of a better collection this year than last year. If we take apples to apples, that next row down is our income tax net revenue plus the receivable. So 2025 year to date, you're just adding those two items together, the income tax and the AGO, to see that 854,959 number. For 2026, though, I have to go in and pull RETA reports after the fact. So this is actually inclusive of all of the February collections that the city didn't actually get for another month or two. And we are ahead there by $1,300 or $1,600, which, considering it's a big transition, we're managing it quite well, and we're pretty happy. There are some kinks with RETA and the user friendliness, but we're still able to help folks in office, and even though they're behind about a month, everything is getting collected properly. Property tax pilot and rollback. So this is property taxes within the general, fire, and police funds, as well as the pilots that go into that tax increment fund. We're expecting just under $4.1 million this year, and no taxes have been distributed yet by Suffolk County Auditor. Water, sewer, and refuse are pretty in line with last year's figures until February. EMS transport is just a little bit behind what 2025's was, but still well above what previous years were. So they're on target to meet their budget. Interest revenues, rates have decreased in 2026 compared to early 2025. So back in 2025, we had 222,000. 2026, we're about under by 20 grand, but we're still on track to hit our budget there. Gas taxes pretty much flat, on track to hit budget. Vehicle registration is $5,000 greater than last year, also on track to hit budget. You go below that, and this is our bank reconciliation portion. So we will add all of our month-end bank, physical cash together, and we want that to plus deposits in transit minus outstanding checks to match what our funds are saying. So our accounting system should, match pretty closely to what our bank is, and we are off by less than 0.1% there. So that's the reconciliation portion. And then below is a report that just ongoing expenses related to the city. So whenever you receive these reports, sometimes I'll go over them a lot quicker than I did tonight. But if you ever have questions, just bring them up to me during the meeting. But these are prepared monthly and will always be on the agenda. I might not talk about them all the time, though. Moving on to something that also comes out about this time of year is the water rate survey done by the city of Piqua. Not too far north of us.
Mr. Masisklis, is the date on that a misprint?
So I have the 2021 survey and the 2026 survey.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the first one on the agenda is the 2021 survey, showing where we were
And
5
we
years
were
ago.
at-
Yeah, and you can skip to the fourth page, the page 128 of our agenda.
This is all on our website, correct?
Yep.
Thank you.
So this is the 2021 annual survey of combined water and sewer costs. They surveyed, I think, 63 jurisdictions that provide both water and sewer. Back in 2021, we were number 38 out of that 63. This is based on a quarterly bill of 22,500 gallons of 7,500 gallons a month. Some of these districts, believe it or not, do bill quarterly, which is kind of crazy to get a $400 water and sewer bill every few months. But around the Dayton area, they like to do that. Around here, thankfully, we get our bills monthly. So it's triple what our normal bill is. But you can see, we're number 38 on this, right below Springboro and above Mason at $304.89, the quarterly bill. We go down to, skip 3 more pages into the color-coded one. The annual combined. There you go, the bottom of that. So Oakwood is the city that used to do this. They shifted over to Piqua, and Piqua is color-coded there. So the red items are the ones that have increased their rates. The blue items are the ones that have held flat. And then 2 jurisdictions, Piqua and West Alexandria, lowered their rates. The average of the rate increases was 5.36%. Trenton now ranks, I want to say, 23 out of these 71 jurisdictions. So we are still right below Springboro, but we have pulled away from some local municipalities. Middletown and Trotwood and Eaton, Monroe, Franklin, those are all, and Fairfield even, much higher rates than ours. So Oxford and Butler County still have quite low rates comparatively, but this is just good news as far as our water infrastructure and our staff is concerned. We want to keep rates stable through this period of growth, and we hopefully, we'll break the 20 mark and be in the top, 25% over the next couple of years. And that is
So, thank you. We'll move on to audience of public. So the reason for audience of public is to address council with concerns and questions that you might have. So during audience of public, we're not going to attack members of the public. And we also will not attack individual council members. You can address council as a whole, but not individuals, and especially not individuals that are also citizens in the audience. While comments are open to all taxpayers to the city of Trenton and the people that put their name on the list or submit questions first will have priority. We're trying to keep our council meetings to around 2 hours. And the reason for that is, number one, Mr. Zipfel is paid on an hourly wage, and so is Mr. Beresford. And also, the staff that show up on council meeting have their option to either come into work late, leave early, or use council meeting as comp time. And while a half hour, 45 minutes, an hour here or there won't make much of a difference, at the end of the year, that can be a lot of money that's banked up for comp time, which don't have our staff actually at the city and doing the job that they're paid to do. To that, the person speaking from the lectern is who shall address and speak at the time. There won't be any other comments from the audience, thank you. There won't be any comments to them from the audience, and council also will not comment back to them during that time. When you are finished speaking, that will be when council and/or staff will make any comments to you that they wish to make. We also want you to refrain from asking theoretical questions that there really is no solid answer to. it would be very hard for anyone up here to give an answer to a theoretical question that doesn't have any information in the background that may or may not be pertinent to the question that you ask, because nothing here ever happens in a vacuum. And we'd hate to answer a question one way and then circumstances dictate another way in the future. And lastly, if litigation is mentioned during the time that you're speaking, I'm going to ask counsel not to answer to that litigation, whether it's a threat or whether it's just a general speaking. And the reason why is we're not lawyers. We do not know at this time if a threat of litigation is valid or not. We would have to go into a session with our attorney sitting over there and actually talk about how that would affect the city. And I don't want anyone on council nor us to put the city in a bad spot because we are not educated in the law enough to know if the litigation is just a simple threat or if it actually has some legal basis. And then lastly, what I'm going to say is that these are my rules when I am chair. These rules in no way, shape, or form go to another chair if I'm not here, but they will be in effect when I'm here. So if I'm not here for a meeting, then it is up to the chair to either follow the rules that have been set forth or to set their own rules by the codified ordinances of the city of Trenton. And seeing that, I will open up the floor to Trenton residents at this time or those that have signed up on the sheet out front.
Good evening, council, mayor, staff. My name is Angie Markham. I live at 600 South First Street. Thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening. I just had one thing I wanted to talk about. I was looking through the staff report on the water and risk resilience assessment that we voted on, or you guys voted on in the consent agenda. And I saw that there's listed as an optional water supply testing, and the thing that they mentioned under, it's at the very, very bottom of it, is a PFAS sampling of supply wells if requested. I know that with the changes that are happening with the data center coming in, that a lot of people are concerned about water quality. So I was just gonna say I would encourage the city to take up that option and do that testing. If we can get a baseline for where we are right now, that just helps us in the future, because if nothing changes, we can reassure the residents that nothing is changing. If something does change, then we have the documentation that we need to push back and hold accountable on Prologis or the end user. So I just saw that in there and wanted to mention, please, 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 let's do that optional testing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dale Perry, 839 Autumn Court. First thing I got to say is, Marcy, you brought up a great subject. I've been more or less talked to about the Veterans Memorial, moving it up there to the city. And I do like the idea of that. I think it's safer, it's better for all of them. The only thing, Mr. Croucher, that I have thought and brought to the forefront also is leaving it at, Edgewood Drive. Leave it Edgewood Drive, but add the second name to it, Veterans Way, because it should be their way going up to that. That was the other thing, but I would like to see a second bid on some of that stuff instead of going with just the first one. I think there may be better places. Second thing I'd like to bring up, Mr. Blankenship, would you join me up here? Yes, sir. I don't have to talk to you back here.
Mr. Blankenship, I would just like to say that this doesn't keep you from commenting on your own in the future. You still have a chance to comment.
Hey, no, what this is about is something that was done 3.5 to 4 years ago. Marcus, I know he knows where I'm coming with this because I told him while I was still on council. There was an ordinance passed about chickens. And really, a lot of people that was on there knew nothing about chickens. I kept my mouth shut, which I should not have done. That's my fault. About the chickens, I know Barry has chickens, what, 6 of them? 6 of them. One of the things, he's wanting to increase it to 12. And I'm not against it, I said 10 or 12. I think it would be a great thing. just to confer with that, I have checked with the neighbors around it, no problems whatsoever. I've checked with Dee. No, there's no chicken problem in Trent, none whatsoever. So I can, and I'd like to try it at least for 6 months. The other thing I'd like to bring up that was brought up is the chicken manure. He has a garden also. I have a garden in my backyard. Right. Oh, is that what it is? Section 4? And he has no idea I was going to bring it up tonight. Believe me, he has no idea about it. But the way that it was rode up 3.5 to 4 years ago is rode up that you have to scrape the land, put it in a bag, and give it to Rumpke. Absolutely just out of the question. Chicken manure is the best manure for a garden, for any flowers, grass, anything you got. And just to show you a little bit about that is if you take a look at Watson Farm, for the last 8 to 10 years, that big pile that you see behind the barn that was brought in for 2 months and then spread on that field, which was part of the aquifer, was chicken manure. So it's been on the ground for 15, or I'd say at least 8 to 10 years, right on top of it. There's been no complaints whatsoever. I'd like to be able to use it in your own garden, or the compost pile.
Compost, it'd be composted,
Yeah.
goes into the garden.
And if you're worried about smell, and Barry knows this also, lime. Lime neutralizes the smell of chicken manure, which is lime is good for your garden also. That's why I said, I like
Flowers
as well.
flowers color.
Yep.
So I'd like to see you maybe amend the rules, try it for 9 months, and take it on a case-by-case basis. Don't say, well, Barry, you've done good, but Dale, you've done wrong, so we're knocking everyone out of it. No, that should not happen. You should judge it by the job or the person that's doing it. Do you have anything to add to it?
Thing that I do with my chickens is we use a hemp-based wood chips in order to help keep the smell down. It helps keep mites out of my chickens. It helps keep bugs out. They're totally covered during the day when I'm not with them. That way they're protected. They're protected from weather because I shield the entire enclosure. My backyard is fully enclosed where they can't get out or get on anybody else's property with a 6-foot fence. And I just ask that y'all look at that, move it to 12 instead of 6.
And the other thing to add to that, if you take one of the wings of the chicken and cut just the feathers at 45, that chicken cannot fly. It cannot get off like
That's
that.
right.
And it does not hurt the chicken whatsoever because the feathers are hollow. The other thing is, a lot of people don't know about the eggs. They talk about, you can leave an egg straight out of a chicken, take it to your countertop and leave it on there for 2 weeks. Don't touch it. You can use it every day. If you wash it, it's got to go in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
And to test the egg, they drop them in a bowl of water, cold water. If it goes to the bottom on the side, it's a fresh egg. If it turns on its end, it's still good, but it's an older egg. If it floats to the top,
Get rid of it.
Get rid of it.
exactly, that's what I said. So there's a lot of things that a lot of people didn't know about chicken back here, but I'm just telling you, it's worth trying. And hey, it may help his food, it may help his chicken. I know he already talked about donating stuff to the
I'm gonna bring some down to the.
EMA, and we've already got like 8 dozen. I cleaned 8 dozen in the sink yourself, washed them, put them in the refrigerator. So I think it could be a good situation for this whole town, as long as it's done correctly, just on a trial basis, really. So,
Sounds good to me.
all right,
Thank you.
that's no problem. I know you did know what that.
I was nice to talk about it.
Okay.
Thank you. I would be open to entertaining those changes. When we first adopted that, it was on a trial basis with 6. And honestly, have we gotten any complaints as a city?
No.
I don't believe so.
Yeah, so maybe
I
it,
don't think that was the only, I think relative to the, and I know we have minutes from there, I think relative to the manure and other items, we took a very conservative approach, much like the typical capital changes at that time.
yeah.
There are a number of restrictions in there that we compared to other jurisdictions for similar legislation. We took a very risky, adverse approach, right? Made more restrictions just to ease into this process, so we can take a look at the other provisions in that ordinance as well.
Thank you.
I think that's a good idea because
Me too.
if we haven't had any complaints, then it's probably time we open it up a little bit more.
Yeah.
All right? Any other citizens?
Amy Hummer to Brailsford Avenue. My notes are kind of scattered, so I apologize. So let me kind of go over this. So first of all, I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak. I also want to thank the council for continuing to allow and provide comments and feedback after the speakers. I think that's beneficial. I'm one of those ones that have benefited from your comments. I'm also the one that put the theoretical question out there, and it was not meant at any way to be inappropriate, threatening. It was me trying to figure it out. I just need to learn how to reword my questions better. So again, I apologize that if it did offend, but I would ask the same question just in a different manner, because it was important to me to know if citizen involvement would be considered. So one thing I did want to mention is, as going through the minutes from the meeting, you guys have my husband speaking on the 12th. He didn't speak on the 12th. He wasn't here. He was on the 5th. So I don't know if that's an issue, but just to make note of it. I also wanted to address Mayor Perry mainly because I wanted to thank you for your dialogue and your explanations you provided during the previous council meetings. I know you might not have accepted the question, but you did take the time and answer it. You helped me understand. You helped me to change my perspective, like why it's multi-layered. It's not just a simple question, it's all this. So you taking that time with me helped me a lot and helped me to learn and engage. And I really do want to thank you and appreciate that. I also wanted to thank the council members for reconsidering the rules. You know, that I think that was a big show on your part, that they were kind of rash, and that it was, and it's beneficial that people are still allowed to speak even if outside, because it does affect them. So I just want to thank you for that as well. I wanted to ask one thing. Is there going to be a light or some type of at the Edgewood State Street intersection with all that? Because I've sat there for minutes now with all the construction and everything. I'm just hoping that there's going to be some type of a different traffic pattern when that comes and all that's finished, because it does seem to be taking a little bit longer. So that was the main concern I wanted. Thank you.
Thank you. And just so you know, when I write something down when I'm talking, I'm just making sure I remember to answer the question if it's something. To answer that first one, yes, there will be a light there. So that's been something we've probably needed for a while. I've had that happen. When I lived on Ashley, it seemed like I could never get out of Edgewood Drive and turn left. I would turn right and then try to turn around as quick as possible. And it wasn't, I just want you to know that it wasn't your comment specifically. That was something that we've had in the past, and that other council members also have said, well, some of these are impossible to answer. So it wasn't your comment solely that caused that. But I thank you for your kind words.
There'll also be additional turn lanes there at Edgewood and State Street also will be put in.
I'm sorry.
There will also be additional turn lanes put in there.
Right? Still with citizens of Trenton.
Good evening, Barry Blankenship, neighbor from you, just right down on First Street. Appreciate y'all letting us have the time to speak. And one of the things I want to say tonight is I talked to Mayor specifically about the Veterans Park, which I really like, so thank y'all for that. But one of the things I ask y'all to do is talk to Prologis and have them pay for everything that goes on there instead of having our veterans have to pay a penny for that. Because we're going to have good neighbors, then let them do something for the city. I think that would be very good for all of our veterans if this is going to happen. So that way, nobody's paying anything out of our veterans. That's pretty steep prices for some of it. And I don't think it's fair to them have to serve this country, get hurt for this country, die for this country, and still have to pay the money for something like that. So that's one of the things I'm asking. Another thing I'm going to ask about is the Metro Parks. With Prologis coming in, has anybody contacted Metro Parks where they know what's going on, and will that affect the people coming to the park? Because I know that a lot of people do go down to Chris Home or down to the Riverside to walk and do different activities. So have they been contacted? And then the last thing I've got is this fence that's coming in. I know y'all are gonna talk about it later, but that fence is a greater fence than the one that's already surrounding our Army Reserve. That makes you wonder what's going on. Is that just a standard data center to have that much protection? Because y'all were just up in Hilliard, fences aren't like that, guys. So something's going on that we'd like to have answered. So other than that, appreciate your time.
Thank you. So as far as the Metro Park, Butler County has been involved in this from the start. So they're aware through Butler County, through that. And as far as the fence, I'll honestly have to do some research.
Deborah Ryder. I got a couple questions. Traffic on my road, because the new subdivision is terrible. You got a stop sign that I have to stop at in order to pull into my driveway because they're right equal from each other. If I'm sitting out on with my porch, I watch cars go by. Take 8 cars go by, 2 stop. Nobody hesitates. They just go. Then you got the cars coming from the new subdivision, which are numerous, and they fly. They don't, I mean, there's people that walk, there's little kids that are riding scooters and tricycles and stuff, and these people fly day and night. They don't have a stop sign. So if I'm backing out of my driveway and they don't have to stop and they're going so fast and they're turning right onto Cranewood, they're gonna hit us. It's a dangerous intersection, and now we have a whole lot of kids that are over there because of the subdivision that is before our subdivision. And it's worrisome because I got grandkids too. I mean, they're old enough that they know better. But a lot of these little kids, their parents turn them loose and they're out there all by themselves. And it's crazy. I don't know what you can do. I don't know if a stop sign all 3 ways or a big sign saying children at play, elderly come down there and walk and stuff. And it's just not safe. My other question is it really true that there are 3 data centers, 3 locations in Trenton that these are supposed to go by Gorman Farm, Chris Holm, and behind the Shapes place? And is it a done deal? Are we wasting our time coming and asking you guys, can't there be a moratorium or something on this? Does this all have to happen now? Because I don't think it's good. I feel that we don't have the infrastructure. There's so many people. It takes you so long to get through Trenton. It's a real headache. And I like my farmland. I lost my land to the subdivision. And I also read in your other minutes from the last meeting that they were requesting a change. And I wondered what that change was they were requesting in that subdivision. Thank you.
One question, just to better.
Ask her a question?
Oh, I was just going to ask what road do you live on?
That's what I was going to ask.
Cranewood, okay.
Do you live on Cranewood in West Arlington, in that area?
Oh, yes, she's my neighbor.
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot you're absolutely correct.
I hate that sign.
It's just not, it's dangerous.
It is not, for people that have lived there for a long time, and you come down Cranewood and you just had the ability to go ahead and turn right, which is me, you know, it's hard for me to remember to stop at that stop sign. It is.
And you know, it's crazy.
We have the stop sign. Why don't the others have the stop sign?
That's right. I mean, I don't know that it would help,
But
I don't think it could hurt to try.
And what she's saying about the noise of the cars that come up and they come down from West Arlington and then they fly down there and they go straight through.
There's a loud car that lives on,
Oh,
in the street, you know, at the end of
yes.
Brownsburg. And oh my gosh, you would think that you were on a racetrack.
Yep.
Listening to these cars. And you can hear them whine all the way out and down Howell Road. They're so loud.
Thank you. Chief,
Yeah.
can we do a study on that road and in that area, how we have in other roads, to see what the average speed is, and if necessary, put up one of the flashing your speed?
Something.
Yeah, because I will say that when I'm coming into Trenton, it's helped a lot when you hit inside the residential section and it says your speed is this. More than one time I've been like, oh, okay, and let off the gas a little bit. Yeah.
From West Middletown, you've got
Yep.
that.
Yes.
Because a lot of times people just aren't paying attention, really. You're just driving. Maybe that isn't the case there, but
I said something to a gentleman earlier today, and because he was flying, and he didn't stop at that stop sign. I go, you know, there's a stop sign there, don't you? And he gave me very nasty gestures and nasty words. And I see his truck every day.
thank you.
Chief Carr, didn't we do something on, let's see, it'd be Cranewood? Where we had some type of monitor, it picked up the speed as people was driving down through there. Because I talked to someone that was on West Arlington right there at that corner, and he was complaining about people not stopping at the stop sign. He was trying to figure out if we needed to put more stop signs going down through there to slow people down. Can we possibly do that on West Arlington right around there?
Are you asking if we can put more stop signs, or are you asking if I can monitor the speeds?
Yes, monitor the speed.
We do have devices in the city, we can change those locations. Those devices will give us number of vehicles passed, the highest speed, the lowest speed, the average speed, and the time of day for all of the vehicles that go by their lights. So we can facilitate that move, and if there needs to be a stop sign coming out of Arlington Park headed north to south, we can certainly discuss that and see what our options are. And we can also send patrol cars over there to sit and monitor the stop sign that is being complained about and documented. So give me an opportunity. Tomorrow, we're at a graduation ceremony for a sergeant in Columbus. And next week, the lieutenant and I will confer. We'll get with Public Works and we'll see what we can do about getting a device over there to take those measurements and then get back with you by the next council meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Carr.
Thank you.
Anyone else before I open it up to all members of public? All right, we'll open up to all members of public. Please just come to the podium and state your name.
My name's Jake Davis. I live in Madison Township. I want to thank you guys for allowing me the opportunity to speak this evening. Recently, I've submitted multiple public records requests regarding Motion 27, 2026, which directly impacted my public participation in these meetings, as well as the proposed Prologis Data Center project. I want to be clear. I've clarified my request not once, but twice, specifying officials, timeframes, and subject matter. Yet the city has still produced very limited records while claiming portions are too broad. Based on what has been provided and what is not, there are 5 serious red flags that I'm placing on the record tonight. Number 1, incomplete production of records. Even after 2 clarifications, all responsive communications have not been produced, and they likely will not be before this meeting this evening. Under the Ohio Public Records Act, RC 149.43, public offices are required to provide to reasonably identifiable records. Delayed partial or selective production undermines that requirement, and it prevents the public from understanding decisions in real time. Number 2, the only one email was sent on motion 27, 2026. The city identified one single email related to a motion that significantly altered public participation in government. If additional discussions occurred outside of what has been produced, whether by email, text, or other means, it raises serious concerns under the Ohio Sunshine Law, RC 121.22, which requires public business to be deliberated openly. Question for the record, and you do not have to answer it. Can the city confirm that all communications across all platforms used in official capacity have been fully captured and produced? Number 3, timing of the procedural memo. The only communication produced includes a procedural reference document circulated immediately before the meeting where this motion was introduced. This raises questions about when those ideas were developed and whether deliberation occurred prior to the meeting outside of public view, again implicating Sunshine Law requirements. Number 4, lack of transparency on the Prologis project. Records regarding parcels, agreements, and communications tied to the proposed data center remain incomplete. Residents still do not have clear answers on what land is involved, what agreements or incentives exist, what discussions have taken place between the city and the developers. Under RC 149.43, these are public records, and access cannot be limited in a way that prevents the public from understanding a project of this scale. And finally, number 5, unequal application of rules in council meetings. During meetings, council members are often allowed extended or repeated commentary while public participation has been strictly limited. While procedural control is permitted, inconsistent application of rules undermines public trust and conflicts with the spirit of open government required under Sunshine Law and the council's own adopted rules. I want to be clear, these are not personal accusations. These are documented concerns based on the records provided, the records withheld, and what has occurred in these meetings. My purpose is simple. I want clarity, transparency, and accountability. The public has a right to know how decisions are being made, when they are being discussed, and whether all records are properly being disclosed. I respectfully request that all these concerns be addressed on the record and that the city confirm how it will ensure full compliance with the Ohio Public Records Law and Sunshine Laws moving forward. I thank you for my time.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Ziffel, I think this falls into your category.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll work with Stas, who's been handling public records requests. As you know, we've had many of them, but I trust them conducted the accurate searches of our records.
Okay.
But I will confirm
Just
the specific request.
Just confirm and have something next meeting, just a,
I'll provide you
yep.
with the council.
I appreciate that, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the audience? Okay, seeing none, we'll move to unfinished business. I'll entertain a motion that we read item 1 under unfinished business by title only.
So
Second.
We have Councilman Nichols and Councilwoman Butts. Roll call, please.
Mr. Nichols?
Yay.
Ms. Butts?
Yay.
Vice Mayor Croucher?
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery?
Yay.
Mr. Prophet?
Yeah.
Mr. Rourke?
Yeah.
Mayor Perry?
Yay. Mr. Ziffel.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 1, an ordinance to accept, modify, and reject the final replat of the Arlington Park subdivision.
Thank you very much. Any discussion? All right, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Vice Mayor Croucher and Councilwoman Montgomery. Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Croucher?
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery?
Yay.
Mr. Prophet?
Yay.
Mr. Nichols?
Yay.
Ms. Butts?
Yay.
Mr. Rourke?
Yeah.
Mayor Perry?
Yay. We have no public hearing, so we'll move on to new business. Number 1 is a motion to approve the commercial industrial fence permit application submitted by Prologis for its data center complex. Do we have any discussion on this?
I got a question. I heard at the Planning Commission meeting that some people was concerned about the colors of the fence, the heights of the fence. Is there a reason for the different colors and different heights, City Manager Nichols?
My understanding as the heights relate to different aspects of the site as it relates to the fences. As it relates to the colors, I cannot speak to that. I know there are different highlighted colors on Exhibit A, such as the 8-foot crash-rated perimeter outer fence is purple. The 8-foot non-crash-rated perimeter inner fence is blue, I believe. And it's highlighted different colors on the exhibit to simply show the difference between them.
The fence itself won't be different colors.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's just, do we have a guarantee that that won't be a different color? I can't imagine that it would be, but.
Yeah, that's my understanding. It was, the different colors on Exhibit A were simply to show the different fences and highlight them on the exhibit, since it is very small.
Okay.
And I believe there was a sketch that may have been green, like a computer generated, that was green, and I think that had just a little confusion that people might have thought it was green.
My understanding is that it will be black. I can certainly follow up and ensure that that is the case.
And wasn't there a concern about the fence being put right on the property line, Councilman Prophet?
Yes, the property owner that property touches the site had some concerns, but I believe Mr. Bridge addressed all those concerns with him. And
yeah, and as a follow-up, on Exhibit A, you can see the property line, and then there is a small strip between the Gorman Farm as well as the property that is owned by Martin Marietta. There is a strip of land. You can see the property line distinguished, and then there is a small strip of land that is the property line associated with that, and then there is additional property that is associated with the sanitary sewer project, and you can see that rectangular box, and then the driveway has a fence alongside of it, north and south of the driveway, and you can see that there is a distance between the driveway versus the actual property line. So you can see that the fence is not on the property line, but it is north of the property line.
We're not going to have fences butting up to fences, right?
I don't believe so, no. The fence will be going against will be on the north and south side of the driveway.
And I believe that's fences butting up against fences is legal, correct? I think we changed that. It used to not be legal, but then we had a whole thing about that.
Yeah, the existing fence is currently on that property line.
Okay. My other question is about the height of the fence. I believe the height of the fence is defined by the end user, correct?
I believe so, yes.
Because I think that's consistent with what we visited.
I believe
As
that
the
is
fence.
accurate. I am not,
I'm
my understanding is that it is conversation between Prologis and their end user with regards to aspects of certain things.
Okay, any further questions?
My opinion, I don't think that an 8-foot fence is unrealistic when you consider what information could be stored in there. I'm not saying will be, it could be stored. You know, we don't know exactly what's going to be in that data center, just like we don't know what's in any other data center as far as what's stored there. That and the fact that there's already been threats of vandalism against that site online, I don't think it's unreasonable.
Anything additional?
No.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to permit.
So moved.
Second.
Vice Mayor Croucher and Councilman Nichols. Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Croucher,
Yay.
Mr. Nichols,
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery,
Yay.
Mr. Prophet,
Yay.
Ms. Butts,
Yay.
Mr. Rourke,
Yay.
Mayor Perry.
Yay. All right, legislation. Now entertain a motion that we read items 1 through 3 in legislation by title only.
So moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Butts and Councilman Nichols. Roll call, please.
Ms. Butts,
Yay.
Mr. Nichols,
Yay.
Vice Mayor Croucher,
Nay.
Ms. Montgomery,
Yay.
Mr. Prophet,
Yay.
Mr. Rourke,
Yay.
Mayor Perry.
Yay. Mr. Ziffel, please pause after number 2.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 1, an ordinance amending section 45202 of the codified ordinances of the city of Trenton, Ohio, and declaring an emergency. Item 2, an ordinance amending section 21002 of the codified ordinances of the city of Trenton, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. There is a request that we suspend the 2 readings and vote on this tonight. Just for some backstory, looking through our codified ordinances a little bit more, one of the only things that were specified in audience of public was that it be citizens. And what this will do was this will eliminate the word citizens and make it into public. Do we have any discussion? All right. I'll entertain a motion that we suspend the 2 readings.
So moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Butts and Councilwoman Montgomery. Roll call, please.
Ms. Butts,
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery,
Yay.
Mr. Prophet,
Yay.
Vice Mayor Croucher,
Yay.
Mr. Nichols,
Yay.
Mr. Rourke,
Yay.
Mayor Perry.
Yay. All right, I will entertain a motion that we approve.
So moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Butts and Councilwoman Montgomery. Roll call, please.
Ms. Butts,
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery,
Yay.
Vice Mayor Croucher,
Nay.
Mr. Prophet,
Yay.
Mr. Nichols,
Yay.
Mr. Rourke,
Yay.
Mayor Perry.
Yay. Mr. Ziffel.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 3, an ordinance to accept, modify, or reject the final replat, record plat for the Trenton Square Section 2, including lots 4988, 4994, 5087, 5088, 5089, 5092, and 5093, Section 31, Town 2, Range 4, Congress Lanes west of the Miami River, City of Trenton, Butler County, Ohio.
Thank you, Mr. Ziffel. We'll move on to reports, and we'll start with you.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no reports.
Thank you very much. Mr. Beresford.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no reports other than tomorrow is spring, so I want to wish everyone a happy spring and happy Easter.
Thank you very much. Mr. Masisklis.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no reports other than, besides the reminder to file your local taxes. Oftentimes, well, actually, now that we have moved to Rita, TurboTax actually will send your return to Rita. But you do have to click an extra button and upload them to Rita from TurboTax. They will not just take it for you with your federal. Most CPAs will also send your returns to Rita. We previously had a lot of issues where people would go, I filed my return, why am I getting a letter from the city of Trenton? Well, it was never automatic that you would file your local returns, and I've had that problem quite a few times in areas where I live. I had assumed my CPA did it, or I turned them in. after a while, I get a letter and then, oh, well, I have to actually turn it into the city office. And that's enough for them to read them. Or again, come in person. The tax due date is April 15th, and I will also reiterate something from the last meeting. We are moving away from those red, small, open-ended recycle bins and moving toward the 64-gallon, 95-gallon toters that Rumpke does still provide for free. There is no monthly upkeep cost. You can just call Rumpke and have either a 65-gallon, the medium size that is a top loader, and dropped off in front of your house, or the 95, which is the same size as the big brown ones. They will drop those off as well. Again, free of charge. We're just moving away from the smaller red bins because stuff blows out quite easily.
Thank you. Mr. Nichols.
I have no reports. I do have a request to go into executive session to consider confidential information that is directly related to a request for economic development assistance under any provision identified in Ohio Revised Code 121.22, subsection G8, or that involves public infrastructure improvements or the extension of utility services that are directly related to an economic development project as necessary to protect the interests of the applicant or the possible investment or expenditure of public funds to be made in connection with the economic development project, and to confer with legal counsel.
Thank you. Before we move on to audience of public, I just want to say that audience of council, that any rules or anything that I said with audience of public, I do believe should pertain to council as well. There will be no timer, as there isn't with the public, but any rules that are pertinent to them are pertinent to us. So start off with Councilman Rourke.
I enjoyed the beautiful day. Glad to see everybody come out. That's all I got to say.
Thank you very much. Councilman Prophet.
I'd like to thank city staff. Matthew, that was a very good presentation. Public Works, you guys do a great job. I was at the park the other day. It's nice to see the splash pad coming along. It was nice to see Mr. Perry and Mr. Blankenship get up together and speak. As Mr. Blankenship said in the past, there's always going to be disagreements on things, but we have a lot more in common than we disagree on. The Veterans Memorial, the location of that's been lingering around for a while, so I like that we finally have a definitive answer on that. Almost everybody I've talked to in the public is happy with the city building being the site. I would agree with Mr. Blankenship. I'd like to reach out to Prologis and see about their ability to help fund the Veterans Memorial. That would go a long way. And then I would also like an update on the baby box at the fire station. And that is all I have.
Mr. Nichols, hate to catch you as soon as you come back in, but update on the baby box.
I believe the contract language is squared away, and at this point, we are looking at ensuring we have all aspects of that project, so we can bring forth a motion to council to approve the expenditure funds.
Thank you. Is that all, Mr. Pro? That's all. Councilwoman Montgomery.
Well, first of all, I want to thank the deacon, Larry Gronis, for the wonderful prayer that he prayed. He's a good man, and I've always enjoyed when he comes to say the prayer for our meetings. I also want to say, we have a great opportunity coming ahead in our Easter season with the EMA. They do a wonderful sunrise service. And I'm looking forward to that. And I've been asked to be a part of that, and I am very honored for that. I'm still loving my city, and I love my residents. And moving forward, being also a resident of Trenton is so important to me. And I appreciate the response that we get from our people. I do. And I appreciate you being here tonight. I appreciate your statements, your comments, and I appreciate being a resident of Trenton.
Councilwoman Butts?
I would also like to thank everyone for being here and for the decorum that we all showed during this meeting. And I, being new, I'm not sure how we circle back to provide the answers to the questions. I don't want it to seem like they come up there and they make a statement or ask a question and then we don't have a response. So I'm not sure how that goes. But I also want to remind everyone that we do have Springfest coming up soon, June 6th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. in the Trenton Community Park. All kinds of stuff going on. We have a bubble truck, inflatables, trackless train, dunk tank, lots of high thrill activities and a lot of other things to do. We're going to have food trucks and vendors, and that is going to be the grand opening of the splash pad that's scheduled for 11 o'clock that day. So bring your youngins and come on out. We have a lot of things going on this year with through the Parks Board, so keep an eye out to see what's happening. And again, I also like the idea of seeing if we can get funding for the Veterans Memorial. That's a great idea. So fingers crossed on that. That's all I have.
Thank you very much. Councilman Nichols.
Thank everybody for being here tonight, especially those that got up and spoke. You know, it seems like some people have the idea that we don't want to hear from the citizens, and that's not true. Even if you have a different opinion than we do on something, we still want to hear your opinion. As long as everybody's respectful, you know, I'm willing to sit here as long as it takes to listen to people. As far as the Veterans Memorial, we did send out, I think it was about 210 or 220 letters we sent out to different businesses, be it all the businesses in town plus a lot of different corporations. I'm not sure, that's one reason why I asked about the fundraising tonight about that, because I don't know at this point what kind of response we've got from that. But we are working on that. As far as the taxes, I did my city income tax online the other day with Rita. It was a very simple procedure. I did have one question that I had to call them on, and there was a little bit of a wait time, but then the lady was very courteous and answered my question right away, and was absolutely no problem filing with Rita online. So, yeah, just my opinion, but if you're paying a tax advisor to do your city tax, you might be wasting money because it's so simple to do yourself once your federal and stuff's done. Very easy process. Like Mr. Prophet, I was curious as where we were on the splash pad, so I took advantage of the nice weather today and went down to the park and looked at it. It looks like it's come along very nicely. They've got a lot of cleanup work to do once they get it in, because we had to do a lot of moving of electric lines and installation of water lines that ran a pretty good distance, and drain lines and everything. So you will see a lot of superficial damage to the park in other areas besides just that small area, but that'll all be taken care of, I'm sure, before we start having events down there this summer. But as far as the events, I would encourage people just to check on the city website. We try and keep all the events up to date that we're having, because like Ms. Butts said, we're having a lot of events down there this summer. We try and add something new every year, and this year's going to be no exception with the 250-year celebration in July. I think that's all I have tonight.
Thank you very much. Vice Mayor Croucher.
I'd like to thank everybody for being here tonight, taking time out of your day to come to the council meeting. I'd also like to say tomorrow is the first day of spring. Barn and Bunk will be open tomorrow.
Yay.
So go down and see Tom Theobald and grab you some tomatoes and all the good stuff that he's got down there that Miss Montgomery usually talks about.
Yeah, well,
The touch base, yes, I'd like to recognize Public Works for their hard work and what they've done. Along with the police department, I would like to say that, they are out patrolling.
yes, they are.
You're not the only resident that is brought up right there in that intersection and also West Arlington. And we're trying to do a study like the chief said he can do to figure out what we can do with stop signs, or, you know, the speed limit through there is only 25 mile an hour.
And I know it's all new and it'll take time.
Yeah, I know, and they are
But
flying.
I'm just hoping that there's not somebody killed in that time.
Yeah, I don't want a little kid to get hurt,
I know.
you know. We're working on that, and we will take care of that. Other than that, Mayor, that's all I have.
Thank you. I wanted to start off by thanking everyone that had comments tonight, and thank everyone for the decorum. It was, I was very happy with how tonight went, and hopefully this will be normal going forward. And then I would like to talk about the Trenton Soccer Association. So as you guys are aware, the Trenton Soccer Association had some vandalism happen to their fields, and they're reaching out to the community, and they need some help. Currently, what they're looking for is dump trucks to haul about 580 tons of gravel from Greenville to the fields, which is a lot of gravel. And, yep, and Greenville's a bit away, but I'm sure as a
50 miles.
community,
I've been driving it.
we can come together and come up with some solution for them. I know their parking lot needs a lot of gravel, and Mr. Nichols, I know they sent us an email about it. Anything that we can do to help would, I'm sure.
Forwarded that email to Brad Baker, our service director, so we can have some internal conversations about that, as well as see about any external associations or partnerships that we might be able to work with on that. But that is something I don't have an answer for you at this moment, but there is conversations.
What about the divots?
I didn't mean for you to have an answer at this time. I was just throwing that out there to any help we can give. Also, they're looking for a used or discounted commercial zero-turn mower for a 501c3 nonprofit. I don't know the legality of this, but I think we just replaced a zero-turn mower here in the city of Trenton, so.
And we do have an updated contract policy, sales policy that allows us, I think we did that last year, allows us to council by motion to donate to 501c3.
I would say, I would say for next meeting, let's get that motion up to council, and we should be able to with that old mower, unless, Mr. Baker, you have any.
Do you have plans for that mower, Mr.
If there are
Baker?
any plans that I'm not, I should have asked you first, that's.
Say again, please.
The mower that we're replacing,
It's sold.
oh, it's sold, okay. Okay, well, unfortunately, I wasn't aware of that, I'm sorry. Well, they're looking for that, and also local businesses who can help make a new sign for the Duke Field. So if you're well-versed in making signs, or you're willing to sponsor some of the signs, it would be much appreciated, as they're going to need some new signage for that facility. In addition to that, I don't think I have anything else. Just thank everyone very quickly.
Will the questions that I asked you be answered eventually about like the locations of the data centers and what the change is to Arlington Park?
I will, I'll get with you here in a second about one of those, and then we'll answer the other one at the next meeting.
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, and with that, I'll entertain a motion that we go into executive session for the reasons stated.
Second.
Councilman Rourke and Vice Mayor Croucher, roll call, please.
Mr. Rourke?
Yay.
Vice Mayor Croucher?
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery?
Yay.
Mr. Profit?
Yay.
Mr. Nichols?
Yay.
Ms. Butts?
Yay.
Mayor Perry?
Yay. We are going into executive session at 8:54 p.m. No other business will be conducted in the regular council meeting. We will only adjourn, so everyone have a nice night, and I'll see you in a couple weeks. Thank you.